Hello friends, welcome to my channel upcoming @update 24. Welcome to all. Today I am going to read one of the editorial which is published in today's Hindu newspaper, that is Ink and Revolution. Women writers who paved the way for change. Women's History Month, observed every March, celebrates the contribution of pioneering writers, looking back at the books of authors such as Toni Morrison, Bell Hooks, Maya Angelou, and Betty Friedan, who have challenged societal norms and continue to shape conversations on equality. March, celebrated as a season of change, is also recognized as a Women's History Month, coinciding with International Women's Day on March 8. This month honors the contribution of women to American society. The celebration dates back to 1978 when the Education Task Force of the Sonoma County, California Commission on the Status of Women took it upon themselves to spread awareness about women's history and achievements. In 1980, led by the National Women's History Alliance, formerly the National Women's History Project, a group of women and historians gained national recognition. That same year, President Jimmy Carter issued the first presidential proclamation declaring the week of March 8, 1980 as National Women's History Week. In 1987, the celebration was expanded to a month-long observance when Congress passed a resolution officially designating March as Women's History Month. Moving forward together. This year's means 2025 theme, Moving Forward Together, celebrates women's education and their enduring role as inspirations across generations. It highlights the collective strength, equality, and transformative influence of women in mentorship and leadership. Eminent writers like Toni Morrison, Bell Hooks, Maya Angelou, Sandra Cisneros, and Betty Friedan not only paved the way but also laid the foundation for current and future generations. Their work continues to serve as a beacon for progress and empowerment. Betty Friedan's The Feminist Mystique, 1963, ushered in the second wave of feminism in the United States, holding a mirror to post-World War II society, where women were largely reduced to the roles of homemakers and mothers. Through her work, Friedan challenged the cultural ideal that women should find fulfillment solely in household duties, coining the famous term feminine mystique. She encouraged women to pursue higher education and careers, urging them to seek fulfillment beyond the domestic sphere. Her book also played a crucial role in the founding of the National Organization for Women. Despite facing significant backlash, the feminine mystic remains a seminal critique of societal pressures and continues to resonate in the modern era. Advocating for a more inclusive and accessible approach to feminism, Bell Hooks' Feminism is for Everybody in 2000 calls on those affected by patriarchy, racism, capitalism, and other oppressive systems to unite in the fight for collective liberation. With a focus on intersectionality and grassroots activism, Hooks argues that feminism must include marginalized voices. At the core of her philosophy is the idea of love as a radical force, not just a passive emotion, but an active resistance against injustice. She challenges readers to rethink everyday actions, from parenting to political organizing, through a feminist lens. By framing feminism as a movement rooted in love and justice, Hooks has inspired countless individuals to engage in feminist praxis that promotes a more equitable and compassionate world, inspiring marginalized communities. A poignant fusion of magical realism and historical testimony, Toni Morrison's Beloved in 1987 exposes how systemic violence fractures identity and memory, particularly for black women whose pain has long been silenced. Winner of the Pulitzer Prize, the novel reimagines the true story of Margaret Garner through the character of Seth, and an escaped slave haunted by the ghost of the daughter she killed to prevent her return to bondage. The novel's non-linear structure mirrors the disruptive nature of unresolved grief, making its 19th century setting feel urgently contemporary. Even today, Beloved remains essential to discussions on reparative justice as its themes of inherited trauma resonate with movements addressing systemic racism's enduring impact. By centering enslaved women's interiority, their love, guilt, and resilience, Morrison challenged dominant narratives that often reduced victims to statistics. Maya Angelou's works, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, 1969. The first volume of her seven-part autobiography recounts her childhood and adolescence, focusing on her experiences of racism, trauma, and resilience growing up in the segregated South. Inspired by a Paul Laurence Dunbar poem, the book's title symbolizes the struggle for freedom and a self expression in the face of oppression. Angelo's story of overcoming racial discrimination, sexual abuse, and the challenges of finding her voice as a young black woman has inspired generations of readers. The book remains a testament to the power of storytelling as a tool for healing and social change. Long Road to Gender Parity. Sandra Cisneros' works, The House on Mango Street in 1984, remains deeply relevant in contemporary discussions on immigration, cultural identity, and the intersection of gender and race. A coming of age novel written in a series of vignettes, the book follows Esperanza Cordero, a young Latina girl growing up in a poor Chicago neighborhood. Through Esperanza's eyes, the novel explores themes of identity, gender, race, class, and the pursuit of belonging. She dreams of escaping her impoverished surroundings and finding her voice, even as she witnesses the struggles of the women around her, many of whom are trapped by societal expectations and systemic inequality. The book's themes of empowerment and self expression align closely with modern movements advocating for women's rights and social justice. However, we have a long way to go. According to the Global Gender Gap Report 2024, it will take 134 years to achieve full gender parity. For decades, writers have taken it upon themselves to highlight the plight of women and bring forth stories of struggle, oppression, discrimination, and patriarchy, and have fought tooth and nail for younger generations to reap the fruits of their struggle. We live to finally see the day when society is just and love conquers all. Thank you for listening.